Manny Kratsios, President and CEO of Merritt Harris, and I'd like to tell you some things about our firm's construction monitoring practice. Merritt Harris was founded 75 years ago and was the first company to be formed solely for the purpose of representing the interests of construction lenders. Each month during those early years, Merritt Harris's project managers would visit the construction site to observe the work and review the borrower's requisition, making sure that the bank only paid for the work completed. The intent of the monitoring process was to reduce the bank's risk by making sure that the loan was kept in balance. That process and intent remain essentially the same today. Prior to the 1970s, however, the bank's loan officer received a one-page report from the monitoring agency. That letter report merely stated the amount to be released to the borrower that month and noted whether or not the project was proceeding according to the reviewed plans and specifications. As lenders became more sophisticated and banking auditors more inquisitive, the review and monitoring reports became more detailed, and our field personnel were required to take a more proactive approach towards construction issues and loan requirements. Today, upfront document review reports from any good construction consulting firm are typically 40 to 100 pages in length, depending on the complexity of the project. The once one-page monthly observation report generally runs anywhere from 15 to 35 pages, especially for the larger and more complicated jobs such as a sports arena. The demand for more in-depth reporting of document reviews led us to establish our Cost and Review Group in 1996. Prior to its formation, the construction documents of a project were reviewed, and the report was written by the project manager who would be doing the monthly observations. The theory behind this procedure was sound. The person who was to observe the construction in the field was also the one who poured through the documents before construction began. The problem with this process was that as the clients demanded more detailed reports on tighter schedules, the project managers with all their field responsibilities were unable to produce the review reports in time for the loan closings. At Merritt Harris, we decided the best solution to this dilemma was to establish a group of experts who specialized in reviews and who had no field responsibilities. Architects, structural and mechanical engineers, and cost estimators were hired for the sole purpose of being in the office to review construction documents and produce reports. In addition to the plans and specs, our full-time in-house staff reviews the site survey, soils report, permits, zoning approvals, bonds, contracts, hard and soft cost budgets, construction schedule, and other important documents. This solution proved to be very successful because it reduced the time in which a report could be produced and allowed us to address the various specialties with expert eyes, instead of having one person analyzing all trades and construction documents. Having said that, our project managers are still required to thoroughly read the review reports of their respective jobs and to become intimately familiar with the construction documents before their projects begin. When construction commences, the project manager typically visits the site once a month when representing a construction lender. With equity investors, they visit the site as much as once a week. The site visit includes a tour of the project with the borrower's and contractor's representatives to estimate the degree of completion and to report any obvious deficiencies or deviations from the construction documents. As the project manager is often on site only once a month, much of the work performed may never be observed. For example, once the concrete has been poured or the walls sheetrocked. Therefore, between the site visits, the project manager's opinions rely heavily on the professionals of record, the quality control reports, and test results generated by various agencies. After touring the construction, the project manager and representatives of the development team sit down to review the requisition or draw package that has been prepared in order to allow the contractors to be paid. Our project manager's focus is to see that the work being requisitioned is in general alignment on a trade-by-trade basis with the actual work in place. The building loan agreement between the lender and borrower spells out the details of how, when, and for what payments may be requested, including the release of retainage being withheld. In addition to the requisition review, our project managers review and opine on the construction activity, tests, certifications, permits, subcontracts, contingencies, bonds, change orders, stored materials, lien waivers, and the construction schedule. Upon return to the office, the project manager calls the client to offer a brief report of the site visit and to recommend the amount of money that should be released for the construction completed. The project manager then produces a written report detailing the status of the project, noting any issues found, and most importantly, addressing whether the work is in conformance with the plans and specs, whether the project is on schedule, and whether the remaining funds are adequate to complete the project. When the construction nears completion, preparation should begin for closing out the project, but that's the subject of another video. If you're interested in learning more about Merritt Harris and the many services we offer from our offices in New York, Los Angeles, or South Florida, please contact me at 212-697-3188, extension 310, or visit our website at www.merrittandharris.com. Thanks for watching, and I hope to hear from you soon.